Well guys, here today I want to go ahead and have a serious discussion about Tesla stock. And the fact is, if you are buying Tesla shares here today, you are buying them at a lower price than you could have even 5 years ago. 5 years ago, you could have paid about $229 a share. Here today, if you buy them for about $218. And I hear some, trolls out there or some shorts saying, why you want to even be in a stock like Tesla? What a garbage stock that is. It hasn't moved in 5 years. It is down. Why would you even want to buy into that? As you guys know, over the past several months, I've been plowing a lot of money into Tesla shares. And so it's a fair statement like, well, is that smart or something like that? Well, here's the first thing you got to understand, okay? It doesn't matter where a stock has been. It matters where a stock is going. If you're buying stock, XYZ today, it matters where that stock goes over the next 5-10 years, not where it was at the last 5 or 10 years, okay? So I want to have a discussion on if you bought Tesla shares 5 years ago, what were you buying into as a company versus buying shares for basically the same price or a cheaper price here today in 2019, okay? Now, also, I want to just kind of discuss, like, literally doesn't matter where a stock has been over, a period of time, okay? I'm going to show you a little stock here called NVIDIA. You may have heard of it before, okay? NVIDIA Corporation in 2011, you could have bought this stock for about 24 bucks a share, 23, 24 bucks a share, okay? Guess what? 4 years later, you could have paid $19 a share, okay? And guess what? Just fast forward another 3 years later, you could have paid $244 a share for NVIDIA shares, okay? So literally, it does not matter at all where a stock has been. It matters where a stock is going. I'm not saying necessarily Tesla stock's gonna do an NVIDIA, or you could look at a stock like AMD. AMD was a stock that was like $2 to $4 stock for years and years and years. It was long gone, forgotten about, okay? And then all of a sudden, it goes from a $3 stock to $12 stock. And from a $12 stock to, I don't know, it's probably 30 something dollars now in a snap of a fingers, okay? So it literally doesn't matter where a stock has been. It matters where a stock is going. It doesn't matter if a stock hasn't done anything in 4 or 5 years. Maybe that's because people that were buying in the stock made very bad decision at that time, and you're coming in at the right time. Stock market investing is all about timing. Same thing with real estate investing or anything across the board. It's all about the timing, all right? So we're going to talk here about Tesla stock in 2014 over on this side versus today in 2019 and what you're getting back then versus what you're getting now for basically the same share price, okay? So back then, the EV revolution, the electric vehicle revolution, was a far, far away thing. It was like galaxies away. It's like, man, that would be so cool if we could have a lot of people having electric vehicles, or we could all have electric vehicles, okay? It was like, a far, far away thing back in 2014. Whereas you fast forward now to 2019, okay? We're in May of 2019, and the EV revolution has started. 2018, in my personal opinion, was the year the electric vehicle revolution really started. It was a year it went from a super, super niche thing to all of a sudden this big growing category that the masses started adopting, okay? And all of a sudden, it's like, whoa, electric vehicles are actually here. The revolution is starting. Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers, electric vehicles are starting to do, specifically Tesla, obviously, they're the most dominant player in electric vehicles, okay? And in my personal opinion, this is my opinion, okay? If I look at all the trends, if I look what's going on in real life, if I look at the numbers, in my personal opinion, within 3 years, so 2022, we could fast forward to 2022, May of 2022, let's come back to this video. In my opinion, 9 out of 10 people who go to buy a new car, they will be purchasing an electric vehicle, okay? That's within 3 years. 9 out of 10 people that go to buy a new car in 3 years from now, they're not going to buy an ICE vehicle. They're going to be buying an electric vehicle. Could be a Tesla, could be another competitor of Tesla. Who knows? One thing we do know is electric, as far as electric vehicles go, Tesla is by far the #1 in market share. So even if, other players come in the space, as long as they can maintain the #1, place in basically electric vehicles, like imagine the win that can be down the road. So if I'm looking at the trends, if I'm looking at what I see in real life, 9 out of 10 people are going to be buying electric vehicles if they're going on the lot, in May of 2022 versus today, when I think still, even today, most people don't care necessarily about electric vehicles. The trend is getting bigger and bigger as far as the amount of people caring about electric vehicles, but it's not like 9 out of 10 people. It's not even close to that right now. 9 out of 10 people are still going to, buy an ICE vehicle as of right now. 3 years from now, it's going to be completely different in my personal opinion, okay? Then in 2014, you're looking at a Tesla. Now, they only had the Model S in the market. That is it. That's the only vehicle Tesla had in the market. They were selling Model S's, and that was it. There was a super niche player in the automobile market, okay? Now, in 2019, you're getting a company, basically, that has the Model S in the market. They have the Model X in the market, you know, the high-end SUV. So they have a high-end car in the market, a high-end SUV in the market, a mid-priced vehicle in the market, obviously the Model 3, that's the mass car for electric vehicles, right? And then now they have Model Y that's coming in about a year, right? This is going to be kind of the affordable, the mid-price space as far as electric vehicles, as far as SUVs go. It's going to be a huge mover. In my opinion, it probably has even bigger potential than Model 3 over the long term, okay? Also, the semi's coming in 2020. The Roadster is going to be coming in a year or two. Those are kind of a little more niche in my personal opinion, although semi could be big numbers. So those semis, they sell for, so even if you don't do huge volumes, they're so expensive. You know, these could be, you know, $200,000 plus. They're so expensive that, you know, Tesla could end up running up some pretty big numbers there. So you're getting literally 2014 Model S, and now Model S, Model X, Model 3, Model Y is right around the corner, semi's right around the corner, and the Roadster's around. You're like, well, when would you have wanted to invest in Tesla, okay? Back then or now, all right? In 2014, Tesla didn't even have an autopilot feature, okay? It didn't have an autopilot feature. By the way, something I didn't even mention up here is autonomous taxi network, you know, capabilities. I didn't even touch on that, okay? But needless to say, Tesla didn't have any autopilot feature back then. Now they have highly advanced autopilot, where literally these cars, you know, can do most of the driving without you now. And probably within a year or so, they're going to be able to do literally all the driving, probably better than most humans out there, okay? So we went from no autopilot to highly advanced autopilot in a matter of 5 years, okay? Very different story around Tesla. Now it's not just an electric vehicle play, it's a play on autonomous driving, and that being the future, okay? Back then in 2014, they didn't have any custom chip for basically running any of their softwares as far as self-driving goes. Now they have a custom chip, and I'm no expert on chips or anything like that, okay? So I defer to the actual experts, on the people that break these things down. And from what I've seen from expert after expert, basically the custom chip Tesla has, it's 1 to 2 years ahead of what NVIDIA has, which NVIDIA is the main competitor with Tesla when it comes to kind of like self-driving vehicles and whatnot as far as the chips go. That is sick, okay? Tesla's a company that pulls off miracles consistently. If they could be 1 to 2 years ahead of NVIDIA with a custom chip, like I can't even explain like how ridiculous that is, guys. And that's what the experts are saying. That's not what I'm saying, okay? That's what, you know, people that have, you know, very high level knowledge on chips and, you know, those sorts of things, they say it's 1 to 2 years ahead of NVIDIA. Ridiculous, okay? And those chips are shipping into Teslas here today, okay? That's just insane, guys. You know, Tesla's a company that pulls off miracles on a consistent basis. Most companies can dream to pull off a miracle. Tesla just pulls it off like it's another thing, okay? Revenues in 2014 for Tesla were non-existent. Like I said, they had the Model S in the market and it was super niche at that time. Revenues were literally non-existent for Tesla. It was like a joke of a business model, okay? Whereas in 2018, they just did over $21 billion in revenue in 2018. $21 billion. It was a business that was mostly just selling in the US. Now it's a business that is starting to sell more and more internationally. $21+ billion they just did in revenues in 2018. You're talking about a company that is starting to reach some pretty big scale, okay? And in my opinion, they got a long way to go to really reach their full abilities as far as scale goes, okay? In 2014, if you were buying the stock, you were buying a stock that didn't have a gigafactory. They didn't have a gigafactory. They only had the Fremont plant, and that's all they had at that particular time. Now they have the Gigafactory Reno, which is fully up and running. Okay, that's a massive facility. It's supposed to be, you know, the biggest facility in literally all of the world. And they should have the China Gigafactory up and running within 6 to 12 months. Okay, that one is being built at a very rapid pace. They should have another Gigafactory coming in Europe at some point in time. But needless to say, as of right now, Gigafactory Reno is up and running, and China should be up and running within 6 to 12 months. That is a huge thing, okay, especially when you're going after the Chinese market, which is a massive, massive opportunity for Tesla. Okay. In 2014, profitability for this company was like miles and miles away. Like you couldn't even foresee profitability. It was kind of almost like an Uber. Like you buy Uber stock today, you know, it's kind of like you're hoping they'll be profitable someday, but it's a long, long way away, right? Same thing with a company like Lyft, right? That was Tesla back in 2014 and was like, man, they might be profitable one day, but it's like 100 years from now, okay? Whereas now, 2 of the past 3 quarters, this company was profitable. So they're starting to get to a place where they can probably start churning out more profitable quarters than lost quarters. And then what's going to end up happening after they can start producing, more and more, profitable quarters? Eventually, I think they're going to get to a place where every single quarter they're profitable. And so that's very, very close. Whereas, 2014, it was like, maybe someday, but it's like a million miles away, okay? In 2014, they had no supercharger network. Now they have a full supercharger network in most places around the world. I think that's going to be a huge profit engine down the road. I know some people said, Elon Musk said things like, oh, we won't make profits from the supercharger network or something like that. I don't believe that at all. I believe they will make profits from the supercharger network over time as demand continues to rise for that product and as they need to for the business model to really start churning out profits and returning that money to shareholders and then building out for future things and future projects and whatnot without having to raise capital. You have to make big profits. I think the supercharger network will be a profit machine in the future, okay? That in 2014, Tesla had not proven any type of scale production. They were making, maybe 100 vehicles in a given month or a quarter or something like that. It was literally a joke, right? Whereas now in 2019, this is a company that has proven they can scale production. In 2018, they just produced cars that were worth over $21 billion, okay? That is scale production. When you start doing tens of billions of dollars in a given year in basically vehicle sales, you have now reached scale production, okay? So this is a company that's proven they can do it. So now when Model Y comes here, okay, like Tesla's already proven they can do this, okay? So if Model Y sells 100,000 vehicles in a year or 200,000 or whatever, like I have full faith that Tesla will be able to produce 100,000 or 200,000 Model Ys a year because they've proven they can do that already with Model 3, okay? Whereas before it was like, I hope they can do that, maybe they can do that. Now it's been proven to you. It is so much more proven now than versus back in 2014 where almost nothing was proven, okay? Auto companies, back in 2014, they were like, EVs are a joke. They didn't say it in those words. Well, some actually did say it in those words, but a lot of them were kind of like, brushed off to the side, like, oh man, maybe that could be something someday. Maybe that could be a little side, fun side project for us. Whereas now the tone has completely shifted 5 years later. Every single big auto manufacturer out there says EVs are the future. All our cars in the future are going to be electric vehicles. All car sales in the future are going to be electric vehicles. So you went from, it's just kind of a joke to 5 years later, it's everything, okay? That is a massive shift in the mindset when you go from, it's whatever about it, to, it's our everything now, okay? Massive shift there, okay? And Tesla stock on Wall Street in 2014 was just all hype and hope. It was double H, okay? It was hype and hope, hype and hope, hype and hope. It was all people were, basically kind of going for out there. It was just like, let's hype it and let's hope everything works out. Whereas now, if you're betting on Tesla, okay, you're betting on a company that has proven a ton of things, that is a million miles ahead of where they were. Like their company was a joke in 2014. It's actually a legit big organization now and on their way to becoming one of the biggest companies in the world as long as they continue to execute. And you're looking at a stock now that Wall Street has completely jumped ship. If you look at the sales that Wall Street follows each other, okay? All these fund managers, they follow each other. And if a stock's downtrending, like Tesla's been downtrending over the past 6 months or so, 5-6 months, basically what happens is fund managers continue to sell. They don't want to be associated with that. Oh man, it continues to go down. What if it gets worse? Let's sell out our shares. And so Wall Street just kind of follows each other. And it'll be the same exact thing when Tesla starts to go up. When Tesla starts to rise, it's just going to be a funnel of fund managers jumping on the ship and trying to get on as fast as they can because they want to be associated with Tesla when they start to rise once again. But right now, Tesla's a down and out stock. It's beaten down. Wall Street has no faith in it, blah, blah, blah. And mainly Wall Street just, like I said, these fund managers, they just follow each other around. so they can look good. And when their high net worth clients come to them and say, hey, you're not in Tesla stock, right? They can say, nope, I'm not in Tesla stock, okay? And then when Tesla stock gets hot again, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna buy it back, and then all of a sudden their clients are gonna say, hey, you bought Tesla stock, right? That's the one's going up like crazy. And I'll be like, yeah, I'm in Tesla stock. It's the same thing with these fund managers over and over again. You're buying a proven, that's the way I look at it. I'm buying a super proven business model. All the trends are going toward electric vehicles. They're the dominant market share. That's where everything's moving. Autonomous vehicles, they're in the front end, and as far as that goes, everything's moving toward them. And back in the day, 2014, people that were buying the stock in 2014, I don't know what they were thinking. They were just hyping and hoping, and that's the bottom line. People were speculating and gambling. I feel like the chips are on my side now, okay? And the fact that I've been buying the stock over the past several months and continue to buy it heavily, the chips are on my side now. I'm the casino now. You were buying stock back 5 years ago in Tesla. You were the player at the casino. You were hoping that maybe things could work out, okay? You were paying a way overpriced valuation back then for a company that hadn't proven anything, whereas now I feel like I'm the casino, okay? It's a different, things have moved, and we're gonna, man, I don't want to say for sure we'll do amazing on Tesla, but I'm pretty fairly confident. Let's put it that way, guys. Thank you for watching and have a great day.